before the game. Okay, so the night before the game, we're going to go right around the room. What should you be doing the night before the game? What's your name again? Kojo. What should you be doing the night before the game? What are you going to check? You're going to check 3 things.
My gear.
No, your gear's good. Keep your gear in the car. Your gear's good. What are you checking the night before the game?
Arbiter.
First one. Okay, and what are you checking? There's 3 things that you should know before.
Any changes or
No.
Location?
No, you know the location. No, what are you checking? What's important? What's important? Give me one.
Location's important for me.
None of us are.
Next, give me one. What's important? The night before the game.
Next. Look to see like who's playing. No.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Who are the teams? Well, you know what school you're going to, right? So location. Who are the teams? Right? Again, I check the night before. I know I'm going to Jeffries tomorrow. Clifton, get ready.
If it's high school, the schedules are on the website.
And you got to look at it. But right away, I know I'm going to Jeffries. Does anyone here know where Jeffries is?
Jana Finch.
Okay, yes, Jana Finch. Okay? That's not so much the area. I just know it's a high intensity.
It's actually Keelan Sentinel.
Okay, again, not another word, my friend. Not another word. If you say another word, you're out of the gym. Okay, thank you.
I'm ejected.
All right. So Keelan Sentinel, okay? But I know it's high impact. That's one thing. What else am I checking? Who my partners? Thank you. I know if I'm working with Abby, the lovely Abby, right? I have a junior partner. As opposed to I was working with Abraham Joseph today, if anyone knows Abraham. Senior partner. I know if I'm working with Rutland, one of my favorite guys to work with because he's a really good ref. Or I'm working with Artivan, right? It's very important to know who your partner is. Now, you're a young official, so you don't know all the guys yet, right? So make mental notes. Who does what well? Who's good with people? Who's good at calling the game? Who's good at, block charts, things like that. Those are things you want to know, okay? There's one more little thing that you should know before you walk into the gym. If you know...
Weather.
No, not weather. No. About the game itself. If it was...
Is there a rivalry between?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would go, what type of game is it? Is it an exhibition game? Is it a tournament game? Right? Is it seeding, if you want to know? Is this a first place showdown? Right? Is this a quarterfinal? Right? Is this a high school championship? I always say when I walk in the gym with my partner, oh, what game is this? This is the finals, bro. Yeah, that's the championship. Right? Parents are out, everybody's out. Right? Your mentality's got to change now. Right? Depending on what kind of game it is. If it's an exhibition game early in the year, it's less intense. Right? And the reason I say that, you always want to match the intensity of the game. If the game is high intense, you want to be a high intense inside, but be relaxed on the outside, which I'll talk about. Okay, so now it's game day. What's the next thing you want to make sure that you do?
Right there.
Thank you, excellent. Arrive early. Okay, now, I want to arrive early, especially if it's what? I'll just tell you, if it's the first game. If it's a tournament game, or if it's a long Saturday, whatever case it may be, I'm not so worried about arriving 15 minutes early. But if this is a one game, like a 3:30 start, like today at Jeff, or 3 o'clock start, then I know I got the first game of the day. Right? So I got to get there, and I got to set, in my mind, I got to set up the gym. Right? And that's what coaches love. I will tell you, I'm going to put him because, Richard's been around a long time. If game's at 3, around 2:45, Richard's getting itchy. Who are my refs? Who's on the game today? At 2:50, if you're not there, he's getting really antsy. If by 5:03 you're not there, then we got issues with the coach already. You're already behind the black ball with the coach. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, so try to get there. Now, I realize stuff happens. I've been doing this a long time. But try to get there early, especially for the first game of the day. Okay, so you get to the gym now. You walk in. What should you do?
Talk to the coaches.
Okay, but even before you talk to the coach, depending on where the coach is, go right to where? Go right to the
Table.
Go right to the table. Okay, let everyone know. Now, what I do now is I change at the gym. Because I kept falling asleep with my rough clothes. I hated that, right? So now I change at the gym in case of these. So a lot of times, what point I'm trying to make, I'm walking in plain clothes. So they don't always know, because I go to a lot of new gyms, they don't always know I'm the ref. But if I go right to the table, oh, there's the ref. Right? So I go right to the table, I check at the table, and then I find the coaches. What's my mood when I walk into the gym? Which is so important. What's my mood?
Good mood, smiling.
Yes, I am. What's the word? It starts with H. Happy. I'm happy. I'm smiling. It's great to be there. You know why? Because this is a good gig. I got a good game possibly, and I'm happy to be there. When you are miserable, or you have a sour look on your face, or you have a concerned look on your face, can the coach pick that up right away? And now you got issues. Okay, so you're happy to be there, no matter what happens. Even if the coach told me off last game, I'm still happy to be there. Right? We had a brawl, which we'll talk about over a running meeting. No, it's gone. Not running meeting, sorry. Your memo, right before the fire. It's on YouTube if you ever see it. You'll see me right in the middle of the brawl. Right? You'll see it right there. Me and the president, actually. Me and John Gurley were after the game. Last year, we had a brawl. All over YouTube. We didn't call Bobby. Bobby's like, why did you call me? Right?
We had it handled.
Yeah, well, no. There's stuff that we could, and look, as a president, me, two experienced officials. Next time I was at your memo, I'm still happy to be there. I'm still happy to see everybody, right? So they can pick that up. You are happy to be in the gym, ready to referee, 15 minutes early, get the change. So then, yes, after I'm happy, I introduce myself to the coach. And I'm going to tell Richard I'm going to tell the coach my name, if he doesn't know it, right? And I usually make a little joke with the coach, right? Like, hey, you're losing your hair, coach, right? Or something. You know what I mean? I like to do that, especially if I've seen them before, right? I'm not saying anyone's a jokester like I am, right? But find something that works with you to lighten the mood, right? And one thing I always do to the coach is I say 2 words that every coach wants to hear, which is what?
Good luck.
Thank you, good luck. Exactly. Good luck, coach. Or good what else? Good game. Good game. Good game, coach. Right? Coach knows I wish him well, and I am into the game. Okay, so if I find him, I go find the other coach. Go find the other coach, and I have same thing. Hey, Coach Clifton, if we don't know him, right? Now, some people say any questions, and they'll strike up a dialogue. I'm not into that, to be honest. The coach knows what he's doing. He's got to coach his team. If he has any questions, he's going to come to me. Trust me. Okay.
I always like to ask, how's your team doing?
Yeah, that's good too. Right? How's your team doing? Yeah, that's good. That's another good one. Right? And actually, at the end of the game, one thing that I see at work, if the team's really good, I say, have you guys lost? And they'll say, oh, no, we're undefeated. Don't get touch us. Right? So, all right, so now that's the beginning. Yes?
So at what point, I know there's different kind of rules and stuff for games, like fallback rule, or you can't double team in the front court and stuff. Should you go and bring it up to the coach when you say hi, or is that?
Yeah, if you don't know what the rules are, and we're going to talk about rules in a second, because I've seen some more screw up with rules with young and old officials that have blown my mind. But if you do not know what the rules are of the game, then yes, ask the coach. Right? A big one is the fallback. Right? Now, we have I also referee York Region, so we have all these different rules with timeouts, things like that. Yeah, so make sure that you got the rules down pat. Now, another big one is too, if the coach is coming from out of town, they might have different rules. So, coach, you heard the timeout. Everyone else here what OSBA is? OSBA, so we ref a lot of American teams that come through. They play federation after. So as soon as I see that, okay, coach, are you aware of all the rules? If he says yes, that's it. Yes. Right? One thing I will make sure that he knows is, if you call timeout last 2 minutes, we advance the ball. Right? Because they don't do that down there. Okay, so those are all the things because I'm into the game.
What do you tell them if they say I'm not aware, if they're from the US?
So first thing I'll say to him is, if he says he's not aware, okay, so I'll just break it down. So coach, here we play FIBA rules. 2 timeouts. So what's important? Timeouts. 2 timeouts in the first, 3 in the second. Coach, it has to be called on a dead ball. Right? Because that's the big one. Because they'll be yelling, timeout. Right? What's a dead ball, coach? Anytime I blow a whistle, or if you're scored a point. Okay? And you'll say, yeah. And then, I'll say, okay, in the lane 2, you only allowed, if you're on offense, you only allow the shooter 2 people. If you're on defense, 3 people. Now, those are the major things. I'm not going to go through that. There's actually 245 rule differences between the 2. I'm not going to go through that. Well, coach, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that, right? But those are the major ones that go through. And if stuff happens throughout the game, I'm going to be aware the coach might not know. So my first reaction when he's yelling at me is not necessarily because he's upset with my call. Maybe it's just ignorance. He doesn't know. Okay, so that's before the game. Any questions about any of that? Okay, so we've established rapport. We've checked the rules. Again, we're just talking about the coach here. All right, we're at the table. I've checked it at the table. I go change. I'm looking good. I'm warming up. I'm getting ready for the game. Okay. So now the game starts. Okay.
Very
Go
good
ahead.
question. So I did a game 2 weeks ago, and my partner had done a game at that school before, and she warned me that this specific school, this specific small league, they have very specific rules. And so before the game, I don't know if it's appropriate, I asked the coach, are there any special rules? Is that something I should do with
Yeah, especially if, we do a lot of elementary. Again, if you're going to do a high school game, it's pretty. Elementary is another big one, too, right? If you do an OB or, you know, if you do a patch of the week, that's all we keep them. But especially elementary things like that, you wanna make sure that you have it. Again, I'll just say this, if there's any doubt about the rules, go to the coach.
Alright.
Okay. Alright, before actually the game starts, the coach can come to you with a lot of requests. So, one of the big things with dealing with coaches is to get the coach on your side. Whether he knows me for 20 years or it's the first time he's seen me, you want to get the coach on your side. So I would say the number one thing is you have to have in your mentality, because you're happy to be there, is you're working with the coach. Right? Remember, the coach has a vested interest in the game. He's practiced with, before that, he's tried out the team, he's practiced with the team, he's put in a lot of hours. You would say now that he put when your coach is more hours than when you're roughing, would you say?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, not, right, yeah, not even close, he says, not even close, right? He's a vested interest. And the thing he doesn't want to feel is the referee's working against him, right? It's like I say, I'll just bring it in my daily life, work with me, don't work against me. That's what the coach says, right? You want to work with. So how are you going to work with the coach? Give me a request that the coach might make to you at the beginning of the game.
Make the call on my side.
No. It's not. And give you $20 too? No. What's a request? Before the game starts, the coach might say to you what? Make a request to you. Okay, go. Well, a request. We'll get to you. What's a request that coach might say to you before the game starts about what is about to happen?
Do you wear any call timeouts?
No, I wouldn't say that. Abby?
We had at our game, extended time.
Thank you. I need more warm up. Right? That's a big one. Right? You come up there, and maybe the coaches just got there, they're late, TTC, whatever. I need an extra 5 minutes. Now, coaches will ask for 10 minutes. You got to work with the coach. So, I never say no, coach. I look at my watch. The game's supposed to start at 3. He wants it to be. He wants, we're now 5 to 3. He wants 10 minutes. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, coach, how about
2 minutes, 1 minute.
5 to 3. The game's supposed to start at 3. The game's supposed to start at 3.
I just gave him
And he wants 10. The coach wants 10. I'm going to say no, coach. How about
5.
7? Thank you. All right. How about 7? Okay.
Cliff, can John just say hello for 2 seconds?
Yes, John Grilly. When I told you about that brawl, here he is.
Right there?
I told about the brawl in your barrel. Yeah, no, memo. It was memo.
Never been invited back again.
School burned down after that.
I hope he was kind to tease me.
Richard, you're gonna have to tell me about it later.
Go ahead.
Hi guys, how's everybody? Good?
Yep.
All right, great to see you. Hey, Pat.
You can't say guys anymore, it's not.
Oh, I call guys, I call girls guys too, okay? So it wasn't anything, I just call everybody.
He's a boomer, don't worry about it.
Exactly, please. Okay. Great to see you guys, and thanks for making it this far into the season. That's great. I hope you're all enjoying table. Hope everybody's treating you right. If not, there's Artavan here you can talk to. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm hearing lots of good things from basically our signers, our executive members, Peter. Everybody's been saying some great things about this crop. Really love to see you guys just keep getting better. Just keep learning from Clifton. Everybody who's gonna give you some bits of advice, just keep listening, keep learning from people, keep watching games. And I'll tell you, it's going to become so enjoyable. I know I talked to you guys before about just the fact that it's just been a blessing for us who really love the game, right? And give back to the game. And never make it your number one thing, okay? You have all these other things that are way more important than this. But when you are doing this, you make it your number one thing for that point in time, okay? So if it's a U5 game, U10, U20, whatever it is, you make that the most important thing at that time. But then once the game's done, it's done. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about a call. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Just enjoy each game. Because if you're not enjoying it, then you shouldn't be doing it because you're really not doing a service to everybody else, okay? Because even those little kids out there, man, this is what they look forward to the whole week. The parents, when they're not going crazy, they're looking forward to it, right? So really do that. And I know this group has been really good. So that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to welcome you guys and just keep working at it. And if there's anything that anybody here can help you with, please make sure that you reach out, and we're all there for you, okay? All right, guys?
Thank you.
John Grilly. Thanks, Grilly. All right. Always good to hear.
I got a question about what you just said.
Always good to hear from you.
That shows up, like he always does, 5 minutes before the game, and wants 5 minutes, and 3 o'clock game, and it's like, I want 10 minutes.
Is this the ref or the coach?
The coach.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm on the other sideline as the coach, the other side of the table. I'm saying, hell no, the game's starting at 3 o'clock. It's a 3 o'clock game, I don't care that you're late, Kojo, we're starting.
So again, we got to work with everybody. I'm not going to give you a definite answer. So I would say, Richard, how about 6? Whatever, right? So, I would try, again, is there another game after? If it's a double and there's another game after that, then again, we're at a tight time squeeze, right? It's our responsibility to start the game on time and try to finish on time. I would say I would probably give them a minute instead of 2 minutes, and then maybe cut off a minute from halftime if possible. Right? Because remember, you always have halftime to play with if possible, depending on the game. Okay?
Just make it up in the game, let's foul.
Yeah. All right, so now, are you going to be quiet or what? Okay, number 1. Okay, Arvan. I got 15 minutes, man.
Are those copies of your book? Are you going to be signing them?
Number 1 was time request. I've got 3 more. What's another request the coach could get? We'll go around.
He had
What's yours? What's yours? Justin, what's another one the coach might ask you at the beginning of the game? Happens a lot. What do the players wear?
uniform.
Okay, then what do they come to you? What not?
They wear earrings.
No, they're not asking you earrings. What about the uniform? They might ask you. Especially if the kid does what? He or she.
If they forgot it.
Yes, right, exactly, right? If they forget, right? So again, okay, coach, you know what? In this game, no problem, right? Well, first of all, check what the other team is wearing. If they're wearing white, you don't want the kid wearing a white t-shirt. And let's see if we can get some tape on it, and we're ready to go. Especially high school, right? OBA might be, a little stricter. We really want the uniforms for OBA or OBL higher levels. But even that, I do OSBA games, and sometimes the kids don't have uniforms. Okay, but again, when I honor that request from the coach, how does the coach feel about me?
He was good.
Good guy, right? Good guy. Another big one for me is the little kids in the wintertime with the multicolored t-shirts. I don't get them to take them off with his by his head outside. But I say, little Johnny, next time you play basketball, have a white shirt. Okay. Okay. True story. One time I did take it off. Parent came over yelling at me. If this kid gets a cold, it's on you, ref. Right? How did I feel? He was like, I guess 12. Right? And I always remember that. Okay? And I don't have a case of it, right? So, and I thought, little Johnny's probably someone the next day sleeping in bed in the ref. And the mother's cousin, my name, right? So, okay, 3 more. What's another one? Coach might come to.
I've gotten requests for a different ball.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that happens. Yeah, what's another common one that the coach might come to you with?
Besides the extra time and the numbers, got boundary requests.
Okay, so think of high schools. What happens a lot in high schools? They have they have ceremonies and things like that. So yeah, so stuff like pep rally, special request during the game to work with us, right? Maybe it's honoring a student, stuff that happened. Case of the right? So sometimes we have cops there, and just think special circumstances.
Crawford
Okay?
Academy
How,
National.
and so again,
Anthem.
you got to work with everybody, right? How am I going to adjust now to I have an hour and a half to do this game. Special circumstances. Sometimes we have cheerleaders coming out at halftime. Sometimes they have introductions. Remember those days? They introduce the kids. That sets us back 5-10 minutes, right? So I got to work with all that stuff. But again, if I come out with as a hard person, say, no, coach, we're not doing that. What is that? I got problems with this coach. Okay.
School band on the court.
Okay, another big one is halftime requests. I'll just say quickly to keep this moving. Halftime requests.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And again, breaks during the game for whatever reason. Okay, so now the game starts. What is my mood like during the game? What's the key component for me to be now successful during the game? What is my state of body, I'm going to say?
I guess it's assertive, confident.
But what's probably the most important thing? Has anyone here seen Forehand Big Ref? Thank you. Although I didn't ask you. Calm. Calm. I've been working on this for 20 years
Because he has marijuana before.
Because I'm excitable. I'm excited.
Well, that's not other refs, though.
Okay, Patrick. I'm an excitable person by nature, as you guys could tell. Stay calm. Because when I'm calm, what can I do well?
You can
Make what?
a conversation.
No. But my job.
A better call. Make a better call.
Judgment. Overall, it starts with D. Decisions. Exactly. All my decisions will be better. And calmer. And guess what? More confident. and I can sell it to everybody in the gym. Remember before I'm talking about players, coaches, you know what? Everybody, I call it the gym. Everybody has a vested interest. The parents do, the fans do, the coaches do, players, it's everybody. Okay, you wanna, I'm not saying make everyone happy, but you wanna, they're all your clientele. You start throwing everybody out, this and that. Does it happen? Yes, but that's not your goal. Okay, and well, actually, let me talk about that right now. Your goal every game, Patrick, is what? One of our best wrestlers. When you walk into the gym, what's your goal, Patrick?
My goal?
Yeah, what's your goal?
To leave with no incidents.
Right. Okay. So no incentive. So we call that to have the best what possible experience or game. Right. That's your goal. You want to have. Phil Long used to tell me this all. Whoever knows Phil Long, he's down with the Rockers. Your goal when you walk into the gym is to get the best game that is possible out of everybody in the gym. Not just the players, not just the coaches, not just the fans. Everybody. Get the best possible game and experience for everybody. That is your goal. Go ahead, Artivan.
FIBA says they want happy endings.
Okay. Oh, you are so funny.
No, I'm not serious.
Oh, okay. I
FIBA
thought you were making a
actually
joke.
says
Okay.
that phrase. They want happy endings.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So my goal is to have a happy ending in my game.
Okay. So work on being a calm official. I bring up Farhan because he's the best at it I've ever seen. I used to call him Zen Master, if anyone knows what that means. The calmest person I've ever seen. Every call, no matter what happens, people are yelling, screaming. Every call, solid. Okay, that's what you want to be. I always say when I'm roughing, you know, the thing I talk to say to myself is Clifton, keep your 2 feet on the ground. Right? Be solid at all times.
You're the
Okay.
point guard. You control the tempo.
Yes. All right. So now stuff is happening. We're talking about during the game. All right. So during the game, stuff happens. The coach calls me over. Now, when I go over to that coach, first of all, I'm not going to ignore him. He calls me over. Stand up for a second. We're going to say, this is the game here in front of you. Coach is here. This is my response. Sorry, not me. This is my stance with the coach. Look where my hands are. Damn. The one thing I don't do, I used to do when I was younger official, is I don't do this anymore. Okay, my hands are down and I'm watching the play. Okay, so now what am I trying to get out of this reaction? Interaction, sorry.
Or you want to let them know you're listening, but you're
Thank you. So I'm listening. You can tell I'm listening. No, I am. Did you say I'm not?
No, I was going to say something else.
No, I'm listening. Okay.
Aggressive there.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Okay. And what else do I want? This to be what? Very short.
Yeah.
I want this to be as short and sweet as possible.
34 hops returns catches the ball.
Okay, perfect. No, I love that. Okay? And because we had this, I had at least 10 of these. I won't say 10. I had quite a few of these at Jeffries. Right? Because, okay, so good. So, let me tell you, coach, I'll watch out for that. And I'm done. Right? I'm not even waiting. I'm done. As soon as I hear what he's calling me about, I'm done. Coach, I'll watch out for that. Okay? Here, set up again. This happens to me a lot when I ref with our event. The coach says to me, your partner's missing a lot of calls. Right? That's a joke, by the way, you're supposed to know. Right? No, he's one of our best officials. Right? So, right? A lot of times, who does the coach complain about? Your partner. All right? So give me a response when the coach is complaining about my partner. Right here.
Okay, coach, we're gonna work on it. I'm gonna tell my partners. We're gonna work on it.
Ah, you're close.
He's a good referee.
That's not bad. But what's the most important thing the coach wants? He doesn't really care about that right now. The coach wants me to do what with my partner? Talk to me. Yeah, okay. So coach, I'll talk to my partner about that.
Thanks, I
That's
appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you. Okay? Thank you. One more thing, set up again. When he tells me what has happened, is he worried about what has happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future? Big up.
Yeah, in the future.
Right. He's working for me for the next call. So he said to me, say that again. 34.
34th hopping here.
Okay. Thank you. So the next time 34 hops, if he is right, what do I need to do? I need to call this. If I don't, then I got to explain to him. That, no, coach, he's not hopping. Or, coach, you know, I'm still working on it, whatever the case may be. Okay? I got to, here's the most important thing to do with coaches. I got to be accountable to whatever he's telling me. Too many guys, I see the coach talking to the player, nothing, to the ref, nothing changes, you got problems. Okay, so be accountable to the coach. To a degree. I'll get to the degree in a second. Yes?
When's a good time to go over near the coach and actually say, okay, I'm listening?
Great question. I have it in my presentation. But the one thing you do not want to do, which I see refs do this all the time, is you do not want to talk to the coach during live ball. Coaches are going to talk to you during live ball. They are, guaranteed. Right? Just as the coach says, either you give them a quick acknowledgement, okay, right, or ignore the coach. right? And then the first thing when he comes at the dead ball, whenever the whistle is, if I'm on that side, right, so I don't have to stop the game, I say, Coach, I can't have you talking to me during dead ball. Sorry, live ball. That's the first thing. Okay? Yes, sir.
So, say if you have like an assistant coach just crackling on the side, or they want to call every call that's sometimes not a call.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me advice to kind of give them a warning, like I'm going to tee you up if I hear another thing. Like, how did you handle that?
Okay, so I was listening to Artavan, and I liked what he said about the fact that he doesn't go straight to T. Now, there are times we've done that, obviously, but usually there's a progression for everything. The number one progression I have for the assistant coach is he or she has to be quiet. So I go to the head coach, because remember I introduced myself. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about, when you introduce yourself, make sure if you don't know, Coach, are you the head coach? Because sometimes you're talking to the assistant. Sometimes you're talking to a parent, right? So, yeah, you want to find out who the head coach is. So, yes, I'm going to say, Coach, I need the request to come from you, right? Another big one is the bench. The bench is yapping us a lot during the game. Coach, I need the request to come from you. If a player asks me something from the bench, I need you to go through your coach. Really work with the coach. Remember, they're your ally. They're the person that you're working with throughout the entire game. So since the coach is yapping, right, which they do, and they're into the game, we need it to come from the coach. Now, I'm a big proponent of, especially younger kids, to let the assistant coaches coach. Right? So a lot of times, are they talking to the ref or are they talking to the players? I got to recognize that also. Because especially with the younger kids, they're really, really active, right? Everyone's yelling, screaming, case video, right? They're really, really active. So part of that is recognizing that.
You allow the assistant to stand up and coaching.
It all really, to be honest, it all really depends. Under 12, under 4.
3 minutes.
Are we done in 3?
Yeah, because then we have to go.
Okay, all right. Right, so yes.
The other coach in my game yesterday was complaining that there's 2 coaches coaching.
Yeah. Okay, so start game. Stay calm. Number one thing. Hustle into position. Again, I'll use Richard. There's nothing worse that the coach can live with the call if you're in the position. Okay? He or she will live with the call. Now, I call, there's 6 things during the game we're going to quickly talk about that are deal breakers for coach. Nothing, right, that are in your control to make sure you get right. Okay? One of them is what? During the game, what's a deal breaker for the coach? If you're going to screw this up. We're not talking about block charge, whatever, just the game itself. That you got to make sure you're on top of. One of them is the?
Free throws.
No, not free throws, sorry. Score, thank you. On the score. You got to make sure you get the score right.
But that's not a lot.
It is your responsibility as a ref.
You work with the table.
Yeah, you work with the table. Make sure you have the right score on. Nothing starts more arguments than the wrong score.
Table's your team.
So you keep an eye on it.
Yes, and I know, and basketball is obviously a high-scoring game, so I don't track the score. I try to track the difference. Right? I try to track the difference. Okay, they're up 3, they're up 4. When is it very important for me, really, really, to concentrate on the score? Okay, last 2 minutes, but yeah, but when are a lot of mistakes made? That's what I'm trying to. When are a lot of mistakes made of the score?
After mid basketball.
No. At the beginning of the quarters. The kids. Remember, we're talking about kids, right? They usually, I find in the first couple minutes, before they get rolling, they're on the phone, whatever. Because usually after a couple minutes, I'm going to go over there and scold them nicely, and then I have their attention. So usually the first couple of minutes, make sure that the score is right. Especially at the beginning of the game. I see more mistakes made at the beginning of the game than throughout the game. All right, so we have the score. What else is important?
Fouls.
On who?
Both teams.
Team fouls. Team fouls.
Okay. No. We'll talk about, before we get to T-Feld. T-Feld, okay, so he's a coach.
Yeah.
He's got 5 what? That he brings out to the beginning of the game. Starters. No, the foul. Make sure the fouls are right on the starters. Is good players. Here's my tip for you. Right? Especially at halftime. Okay? And make sure he knows if 15, who's his best player, has 3 fouls, make sure the coach knows, and 15 knows. Okay? So that's a deal breaker too. That starts more arguments. If any of you know Bob Mado, when I was a young official, legendary Bob Mado, I threw him out of, I threw him out of the game because of foul trouble. The amount of messages and emails I got that night, and I realized, you know what? What was stupid about it is I didn't let him know his best player had 3 fouls. That's on me. Okay? So fouls on best players. All right, so we have score, fouls on best players. What else? Another one. That's a deal breaker for a coach. Timeouts, thank you. Do not miss them. Right? Especially when last. Thank you. You know if a team scores, check what?
Subs.
Table, check the table. Right? We had a brawl, literally had a brawl last year at Hoop because the refs missed the timeout. Right? Because this player hit about it quickly, he got a timeout, the refs just let it flow. Right, exactly. Do not be afraid to call time. I find this with younger officials, they don't do not be afraid to call timeouts late. If you think the timeout was there, doesn't matter if the ball's inbound, whistle, we have a timeout. Okay? Do not be afraid to call timeouts late.
Would that mainly be the trio looking at the table then to call that?
Yeah, but anybody, especially in critical situations. What's another time a lot of timeouts are called in basketball? When the other team goes on a what? On a run. If I know they scored 4, 8, 10, I'm going to look it over quickly. Do not leave it to the table to let you know. Okay, so that's 3. Another one. Another deal breaker for a coach. Subs. What does the coach hate? Not only when you miss a sub, but when he pulls the kid, he runs to the table, the ball's not in, and then you don't allow him in. Right? So be aware. Again, that's another thing. As long as you haven't done this, the sub can come in. Okay? And one more deal breaker for the coach.
Inconsistency.
I'll just say when you ignore them. Okay, whatever it is, do not ignore the coach. Okay?
Do not ignore the head coach.
Yeah, the head coach, yeah, exactly. So, Peter is, let me wrap this up early. This is, what? Yeah, I'm almost done, Peter. Okay? Now, here's my tips to deal with coach. First and second time, I'll talk to the coach. No problem, first, second time. The third or fourth time, I'm going to be fair with the coach, but I'm going to be very firm. Coach, 2 things. I can't have you refereeing the game. This is my line to this, right? And coach, I can't be coming over here every case of it. If I have to tell the coach, that's enough, that's enough. That's enough. Okay? After that, I like to tell the coach, the next time this happens, coach, whenever, but just go to progression. This is going to happen the first time. The next time this happens, coach, it's a technical foul. So they know. Okay?
Question.
Now, one more thing. After all that, stuff still happens. I have always been amazed in my 20 years. Nobody comes to the basketball court to get thrown out, in my experience. If you give the coach a tee, it generally changes the behavior that you're trying to change. Whether it's him yelling at you across the courts, whether it's him nattering at you all game, whether it's him refereeing the game for you, give the technical foul. And then the one thing that I've really worked on is, because I can be emotional, when I give that tee, I got to get away from the coach. Here's a tip, because a lot of times as a senior guys, if you see your partner going towards the coach, get your partner away from the coach. Just get him away. I got it. Okay? Exactly. Okay? And tell him that Clifton told him. And yes, last question.
So, for you to answer this.
Yeah.
So, as a senior guy and a junior guy, what do you do when the coach or the assistant coach is trying to throw your partner under the bus? The classic is, looks like this is your partner's first year, she or he doesn't know
Then
what
that
he's
to
doing,
me-
or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. That to me is,
What do
coach,
you
I
do?
had enough of that. Not another word about my partner, depending on what case would be.
Now, what about when it's directed at the newer person? Like, you obviously don't.
Again, I'm going to have to step in and deal with that, right? I'm going to have to step in.
Right, fair enough.
More than anything, my last tip for you, and again, hopefully I'll get a chance. What has worked for me in my 20 years is just a simple word: be nice. Just be nice. Say please, thank you. Be a good person on the court. Smile. Happy, like you're happy to, you're glad you're there. You're on the game. If you're nice to them, they're generally going to be nice to you. What I have found in my coaches, in my experience with coaches, is they're really good people. They devote their time. A lot of them have their children playing on the court. They're representing somebody, right? I will tell you that in my experience, a lot of times referees bring trouble onto themselves. So don't bring trouble onto yourselves, and you'll generally have good games. I want to thank you for your time. Tell Armin that he talked to you.